Hey everyone, I'm Paul from Canadian Woodworks and Legacy Lumber, and in this video we're going to be carving a solid wood walnut dining chair seat using the Kutzall carbide wheel. Let's get to it. All right everyone, we're all set up with the Maloof style seat. We've traced our outline, we've drilled our depth holes, and now I have the DeWalt angle grinder with the Kutzall very coarse flat wheel. But I'm gonna go ahead and make some sawdust now. All right, so here we are. We're using a battery-powered DeWalt angle grinder. I always get asked, how do we like it? We do actually love it. Of course, you're going to be changing the battery fairly often. Fortunately, the ones we have came with 2 batteries each, and they're a relatively large battery. So we just keep it, you know, got to keep a lot of batteries around, keep them charged up. We're using the Kutzall carbide carving wheel. I typically only use the flat wheel with the original coating, and we're using the very coarse grit. That's the orange colored wheel that you see on the angle grinder there. And you may also notice we do not have a guard on the angle grinder. I do caution safety when using an angle grinder like this without a guard. So please do so at your own risk. If you feel more comfortable leaving the guard on, please leave the guard on. With that said, these wheels are very, very safe. They have thousands of cutting burrs, and they don't grab and kind of toss the disc all around. So you can be very, very accurate and leave a very, very nice finish. All right, so you've seen me do the initial removal of the material. I call this the brute force mode using this Kutzall wheel. And I basically like to get a feel for the wheel a little bit, just going around. And then I'll do one outline staying about a 1/4 inch away from the black line, which is your tracing of the seat. Then from there, I'm gonna use the shape of the disc. It kind of has a concave shape to it. So I'm really running this direction a lot of the time. It's got a flat face. So I'm specifically using that flat face. So I have a little bit of a wrist movement like this as I'm grinding like this. Now the first little bit I'm kind of going like this and then pulling down. Now I'm gonna switch my process up completely. I'm gonna grab a piece of chalk to really show it. So at this point we would have wanted to bring down the material evenly over the entire seat. I don't just go at one spot and bring it all the way down. I go at a spot and I move all the way around and I move all the way around. But now we're gonna switch up our positioning using the angle grinder, and I'm gonna mark this out. I'm gonna be using the flat side of the wheel and pulling away from the tracing of the outside of the seat, going about 60 to 70% of the radius. So we'll be pulling the tool this way, like so. As we come to the back, we're gonna turn a little bit, always pulling down this curve. Then I'll switch my body position. I'm gonna pull away down from the pommel. We're gonna have a little crossover zone, allowing you to blend it really, really nicely. So as you can see here now, we've switched up our pattern, and this is where it is especially important that I'm using the flat style wheel, because I'm basically using it kind of like a hand plane. I use that flat surface and I give it a little pivot to my wrist, and I keep that down on the wood. Using that larger surface, you're able to stay on top of the high spots to bring it down to the low spots. So there we can see the finish. It actually is really, really nice. We typically start sanding with an RO 150 from Festool at 120 grit, sometimes even 150 grit. Of course, safety gear is important, good dust mask, and excellent safety glasses. You can see here, we're just about cleaning it up. You can see how close I can get to the outside line. The control of the wheel is very smooth and easy to operate. So as you see, that was one time around in the new pattern that we're working in. We're gonna be trying to blend the very top edge to the outside tracing of the seat to your nice concave curve. You want to have a nice curve going on this way from side to side, but also front to back from the pommel to the back of your butt here. I've been able to almost get rid of my depth holes. They're all taken away pretty darn evenly. And now I'm going to do the exact same pass one more time. You'll develop a lot of muscle memory from doing this. I've done hundreds and hundreds of seats like this, and I could pretty much do it with my eyes closed, but that's not safe. So the Kutzall, they do offer many, many different products. I use the original coating flat wheels, coarse, very coarse, as well as the fine one, very rarely. But they do have many, many other products. Go check them out.